Welcome back to the Fast Break, friends. It is Thursday, April 2nd, and I'm joined by Todd Aykroyd. Todd, how are you today?
Doing great. Um, really soaking in that Duke loss, so just basking in it.
Yeah,
Go Big East.
I was rooting for UConn as well too. I like the Boozer brothers, and lately with Jason Tatum coming out of Duke, I've kind of like hated them a lot less, but that was just an epic loss. I mean, how do you not hold on to the ball there? That was unbelievable. I just could have ran the clock out, and the collective hate that you saw from everybody in the basketball community that was happy to see Duke lose was probably the most everybody's been on one side of something happening than I've ever seen in my entire life. So that was kind of crazy how bad that loss was and how well everybody uh, appreciated UConn taking them out um, and getting that win. I mean, one of the best Elite Eight games I think I've ever seen. I mean, they were down 19 at one point, 15 at the half, and then just slowly chipped away. Um, can't say enough about Dan Hurley. I kind of wish he was in the NBA, but he's great for college basketball and the Big East. Um, and yeah, I love the Big East as well too. I'm glad they're represented in the Final Four. It's such a good basketball conference. Um, and it's kind of fun when Duke loses, and especially in that kind of fashion. And for that freshman to make that 3-pointer with zero point 0.3 seconds left to end it, just the stones on him, and by Caravan, who, has already won 2 national championships and is a senior, for him to trust the freshman and pass it off to him, with the game on the line with 2 seconds, basically like this freshman either makes the right decision, makes the shot, or your season's over and you lose and you don't get a chance to play again for a 3rd national championship. So props to him for making the right play, and Dan Hurley is just one of the best, and he's such a psychopath too, with him headbutting or as he said, head hugging, um, as it wasn't necessarily a butt, but going up to the ref and getting right in his face, and which, I mean, absolutely should have been a technical, but I'm glad they didn't call it there because, that changes everything if you give Duke a technical shot and the ball back. Um, but yeah, just a phenomenal game, and now they go against Illinois for a chance to go to the national championship again. I think UConn can get it done, but Illinois is tough. They got all them Eastern Europeans. So they're not going to back down. Um, but a lot of people are saying that the national championship is going to be on the other side of the bracket with Arizona. So let's see here. We lost Todd for a bit. Let's see if he can rejoin. He said his Wi-Fi signal is strong though. Up there he is. Whoop, there it is. He's back. Um, but a lot of people are saying the national championship is really on the other side of the bracket with Arizona and gosh, who's on the other side of the bracket? Why can't I remember this right now? Why is my mind going blank? Probably because I was in NBA mode, and now
It's
I'm now
Illinois
I'm
versus UConn. Illinois versus UConn, and then it's Arizona versus um
I know. I was talking
uh
about UConn versus Illinois, and then I said Arizona, and then my mind just go Michigan, Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. See, now Michigan's gonna win because I just disrespected them like that. Um, but no, a lot of people are. I've just been going on a college basketball rant, and Dan Hurley, um, especially him headbutting the ref after the game. But it'll be interesting. I'm really excited for this Final Four. I think both games are going to be really, really good, just like they were last year as well too. Say what you will about having less Cinderellas, but it's made these Sweet 16, Elite 8, and Final Four games really interesting because these top teams are pretty loaded with their rosters. Um,
Yeah, I'm rooting for UConn. I want the dynasty. I mean, 3 and
yeah.
4 years would be fucking cool. I don't know. That hasn't been done since the '70s.
hmm
Uh
And it surprises me, like, a lot of people still like UConn. Like with any other school, I think they'd start hating them by now. But I think it's something about Dan Hurley and like the he knows he's a fucking asshole. He leans into it. Like he's not pretending to be holier than thou and then but also being an asshole, where which is kind of like what Coach K was. Like he was such a I'm better than you and I'm holier than thou. Like when he scolds the other team's student section and says like be better than that and like and then does some douchebag shit after that. It's like, all right, buddy, like I get it. You got 5 rings, but like who the fuck are you? Like you're not bigger than the game. And I think he thought he was bigger than game, but I think Hurley's just kind of a real one. I think people respect it. But yeah, and then Caravan going for his third natty, which would be the first guy to do it since the UCLA 1970s teams, which is nuts. You never thought you'd see it again. And we might not. Still got 2 games to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Duke probably needs to, if they want to win championships, I would say probably need to steer away from trying getting these guys that are going to be one and done, just because
Mhm.
it's really good for their brand and it's really good for like obviously
NBA players.
NBA players, Nike, like the whole 9 with that, but in terms of, when you look at trying to win championships, it's probably not as beneficial as some of these other programs that are just more, like, developmental. Still getting some, like, solid guys, but they're not like "Yeah, this is the number 1 guy in the class and the number 4 guy in the class and the number 12 guy in the class," pairing them all together
Mhm.
but yeah, obviously, I think they'll eventually get it done. Shire's a good coach, but um, yeah, pulling for UConn. I think it'll be UConn versus Michigan.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kinda leaning towards Arizona on this one. I just think the big men that they have, are gonna be really tough. But we'll see. It probably will be Michigan just because Arizona always seems to choke. So, we'll see, but,
Their coach
yeah,
is
no,
a
I mean
disciple from Gonzaga, so if that tells you anything, that's where
yeah,
it's headed.
that means he'll win and then he'll lose to a team he, you know, maybe should have beaten. Although Gonzaga never really had a chance against Baylor or who's the other team they played in the national championship?
I think Florida, maybe. I don't know. Back in the day with Adam Morrison.
No, no, they did not make that. No, the only 2 national championships they've made are, like, 3 years ago and, like, 6 years ago or 8 years
Oh,
ago or something like
yeah,
that,
they
yeah.
always seem to go far, but then choke. I don't know, but
But we'll see. It should be really fun this weekend. And
who do you
yeah,
got as the number 1 pick?
if you, what'd you say?
So who do you have as the number 1 pick?
I think I'm leaning to Bonsa right now. The the numbers he put up with BYU to end his season, I mean, dude, he was dropping 35, 40. I just he's got the highest upside while also being the safest. Like Cam Boozer, I see him being a solid 20 and 10 guy for like a decade, but I don't know if he wins you a championship as your number 1.
Mhm.
Um, but he could be your number 2 for sure. DeBonsa, I think, could be like KD-ish. Like I really think that. Which I mean, did he win a championship as a number 1? Who knows? No. Uh, but and then Darren Peterson is a little bit of a wild card, obviously. Now, he did turn it around because of playing a lot of minutes in the tournament, so maybe he does have some validity to he was injured and really needed to take care of that calf and whatever else he had going on. But I'm still a little bit worried about it because I mean, his talent though is nuts. Like when I watched him against Arizona, and that was just an unbelievable game. And he looked phenomenal. But I get a little bit worried. Now his ceiling is like I don't even know what his ceiling is because it's tough to verify off of this year. But um, it seems like there's a low ceiling, high or low floor, high ceiling with him. And then trying to think who would the other guy
Well,
be?
those are the 3 kids that always get brought up. Well, throughout the year have gone brought up and preseason got brought up, but then it seems like this thing goes, and as far as the number 1 pick, those are gonna be the 3. But this thing might go 6 or 7 deep, and you're looking at, like, okay, Caleb Wilson, like,
Mhm.
sometimes it kinda looks like Giannis or something, like, he's kind of
Yeah.
a freak and might still be growing and stuff. Then you have,
Akum.
The kid from Houston who, may not get as much pub. Wagner from Illinois. No, I don't think
Mhm.
again, these aren't guys that I would maybe put in their class, but, like, you're still getting
Wagner.
maybe a borderline all-star. And then, yeah, Acup from
I
Arkansas.
love I love Acuff.
It
If I'm a team that gets the number 6 pick and I end up with Acuff, that's a fucking win. Like,
yeah.
I dude, he was so good in the SEC tournament and his 2 games in the, uh, March Madness. I mean, he's just smooth, dude. It is unbelievable, and yeah, he's a little bit smaller, and his defense may be a little bit suspect, but, like, offensively, I just think that the sky's the ceiling for this guy, or sky's the limit for this guy.
Maybe he ends up on Dallas.
Oh, that would be
Have a little
that'd be
mentorship with Kyrie.
that would be a great landing
That's the guy
spot for
everybody's
him.
comparing him to, which I don't love. Although I did just compare Caleb Wilson to Giannis, so I can't really a little out of turn there, but yeah, the
Yeah, well
lottery is gonna be fun because you have all these teams
mhm,
that have their picks in the hands of other teams, like Orlando, that they get bounced and they're not in the playoffs, and then, we saw with Dallas last year jump up. They
yeah,
ended with the top 4 pick. That's going to Memphis, who's already
yeah,
got decent odds because 'cause they're in the bottom 7 or 8. I mean, you could
mhm,
have Memphis with 2 top 4 lottery winners. They could
mhm.
all of a sudden next season have Boozer and Acuff on their team.
Adding to Coward and Wells and Edey, which I'm still already a decent young core. I mean,
Don't
it could
forget
turn
Ja.
around it c dude, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Ja. That's on
Um,
Ja.
yeah, and then Dallas, and then obviously Indiana with their pick situation, that
Yeah.
might go to the Clippers. The Clippers
Mhm.
might get bounced, and OKC could win the lottery.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank thank God the Clippers have turned it around because earlier in the year eh, when OKC could have potentially gotten the first overall pick with the embarrassment of riches that they already have, I mean, Clippers gotta make the playoffs. There's just there's no way around it. They need to make the playoffs. We can't have the OKC with another lottery pick adding to the the crazy talent that they have. I mean, you think they're concerned about how many guys they have now. Imagine when they add imagine if they added Acuff or,
Yeah.
Cam Boozer or whoever to their
I
roster.
I think I mean, and this doesn't matter as much to OKC. Maybe they hold on to it because they know that some of their dudes are gonna get expensive and they wanna have another young player that could be a lottery pick.
Yeah.
But it seemed like Atlanta not flipping that Pelicans pick. Anybody that had a draft pick where it was like, oh, peak of its value, like they're a bottom 5 team, they're a top 5 lottery team right now. But
Mhm.
that team had no incentive to tank down the stretch. So they were just gonna keep racking up wins. Like the Pelicans have,
Mhm.
obviously, this is New Orleans. They're certainly had no chance making the playoffs, but now they're towards the bottom of the lottery odds where it looks like, Atlanta could have flipped that,
Mhm.
um, for a Zubac.
Mhm.
Instead, they worked out the deal with Indiana. But yeah, I mean, the lottery is going to be a lot of fun and it'll be interesting to see how it changes after this season. And you can see why so many teams were just, I mean, Utah just shamelessly and the Wizards and some of these teams just like shamelessly tanking. You see why? I mean, these top 6, 7 guys are that good. Which is why
Mhm.
I'm surprised Indiana. You're telling me Indiana couldn't be like, hey, like let's make it top 6, top 7 protected.
Mhm.
Because they might lose it, man. If a couple teams jump them, especially because they've won 3 out of their last 10. I know that's not a great record, 3 out of their last 10, but when you're talking about 18 win seasons, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
So they might get bounced from the top 4 and lose their pick to the Clippers, which could get real fun if they add an A-Cuff in the backcourt with Garland, or if they happen to, even get a guy like Wagner, Caleb Wilson,
Mhm.
maybe he falls. Like there's some fun stuff there in the lottery. So
It
Um,
will be interesting to see if any of these guys fall. Like, what if what if one of these top 6 guys is available at 15, you know? Like, something could happen in this draft, like, a guy gets hurt at the last second, um, or there's some character issues or something like that, you
someone
never
pulls a
know.
Jaden Ivey.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I
that's a
stand Jaden.
that's a tough situation,
The
all
Warriors are
I
another one too, because the Mavericks winning it last year just to me, it's like, man, these odds flattening. And I know they had an insane chance of getting it, and it was probably rigged or whatever you want to say. But I mean, the Warriors or the honestly, I like when the better teams get a really talented player. Like if the Warriors jump to the top 4, or
oh,
if Portland jumping into the top 4 and getting like a Boozer or a Darren Peterson or whoever, like that would just
the
I like to see the teams that are actually trying actually get a chance to really make that next jump and improve. So, fun lottery this year.
yeah, I mean, and with so much talent, realistically compared to what, 2 years ago with Ricochet and Sarr draft, and Castle, who was the prize that we later found out of that draft, uh, how many of these guys would have been the number 1 overall pick that year? Like, the top 6?
Maybe. I mean, yeah,
I mean
probably.
I mean,
Probably.
maybe. That was bad, and this is a really, really good draft. Um, so there's chances are that one of these guys that jumps up, um, one of these teams will be able to jump up and get somebody pretty solid. Like, it's gonna happen for I'm assuming for at least one team is going to make a jump, in the lottery and be able to add a piece, and then we got a player maybe we weren't even thinking about making an impact next year as far as, like, standings and whatnot go. Like, you know, I'm looking at the teams here in the West that could potentially sneak into that lottery and add somebody. You're looking at you got the Suns at 7. Like, dude, if the Suns fell out of this whole thing, which I let's talk about the play-in for a quick second. I really think they could not make the playoffs because, first of all, you just compare them with the Clippers and the Blazers. I like the Clippers and the Blazers a lot better, especially like right now on paper. Um, just the way that they've been playing lately. The Blazers have been going through a really nice streak here. They beat the Clippers a couple nights ago. I watched a little bit of that. And look, when they're healthy and they got Drew Holiday defending well and Denny cooking on offense with Klingon. I mean, Kamara as well too. Like this is talent that has some roster, or this is a roster that has some talent. I'm talking a little bit too fast. Um, so I could absolutely the Suns losing to the Clippers and losing to the Blazers and falling uh into the lottery. And the thing with the Suns is, man, if you added one of these top 4 or 5 guys to that Suns roster, now they can go with Booker, this guy, and then moving forward, they'll be a real player. And I know you were talking about Malawak a little bit before the pod as well too. Um, he's been playing well as of late. So like they would have a nice young core with a little bit of a veteran Booker
Well, I don't
to
think the
kind of
Suns
lead.
have their picks. That's like that would be the issue.
Well, and that's why I'm a dumbass, and
No,
that's why you don't listen.
no, but you have the theory is there. Like we were talking
Right.
about with the Clippers, the Blazers, the Warriors. Those are teams that would be interesting. Although the Clippers, I'm not sure. I know they don't have their official pick this year. They have Indiana's if it falls into the top 5 or out of the top 4. And then moving forward, I don't know how many more they're on the hook with that trade. Just that trade is
Oh,
insane. I just can't. People say that the Luka trade is the worst trade in NBA history. Is there a chance that if SGA puts himself in the conversation with Kobe and Michael Jordan, that is the worst trade of all time? I mean, fuck.
yeah. I mean, you have to consider it one of the worst trades of all time already,
Oh yeah.
but, I mean, if OKC wins 2, 3 rings here and the Clippers never do, then yeah, it has to be up there. The only way it doesn't is if Kawhi somehow leads the Clippers to a championship over the next 2 to 3 years. Don't see that happening, especially with the way OKC, ironically, and the Spurs look. And then you got up and coming teams as well too that I suspect will pass the Clippers uh, next year or this year. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forgot. The Suns do not have their first round pick. I was wondering why they didn't have their first round pick. I completely forgot about Bradley Beal. Eh, oh,
That's why the
why?
but that's why the Malawatch
Why?
thing I've been monitoring because 'cause I'm like, man, like, that was their chance. That was why they did the KD trade, was like, "Look, we need to get a pick in this lottery, and we gotta hit the pick. If we're doing this, we gotta hit the pick." Malawatch has not he's young. He isn't even 20 years old yet. Been 19 this whole season. He turns 20 in September. I think there's a world where he maybe not even next season, but as the season progresses, he's making an impact because last few games blocking shots, getting like 11 rebounds in like 13, 15 minutes, something like that. I mean, he's really now again, we're late in the season. I'm not gonna go game by game discussing who they're playing and whatnot, but you see that, he's gonna be an NBA center. Now, is he gonna become Joel Embiid? No. But could he do what Donovan Clingan ended up becoming for Portland and is going to end up, cashing in eventually? Maybe. We'll see. Certainly a lot of potential there.
Will
And
he
you
be
saw it at
better
Duke
than?
last year.
Will he be better than DeAndre Ayton?
I mean, in the modern era, see, DeAndre Ayton was born 15, 20 years too late because back in the
Yeah.
day, I think he would have been a fucking monster. The problem is that
Mhm.
you're just not dumping it down to the big man to like go one-on-one and, not
Do a couple
it's lot
post
he needs to
moves.
just do lot like, when he said, "I don't wanna be Clint Capella," it's like, yeah, well, guess what? Clint Capella was a really fucking good player in the modern era that helped win, okay? Like,
Yeah.
ask James Harden about how good Clint Capella is, man, like
Yeah.
or Trae
You're
Young.
part of the rebirth of the Rockets in the modern era. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Clint Capella was Clint Capella was nice there for a few years. And I
Speaking of
mean,
Ayton, the Lakers he's really been a big reason, I think, why the Lakers have actually started to get their shit together because he accepted his role.
he yeah, let's talk about the Lakers for a bit. I know we were gonna talk about that earlier. Obviously the talk of Sports Center as far as basketball goes, just because they are the Lakers and they are 9-1 in their last 10, and it has looked good. But like you said, 2 of the guys that needed to accept their roles did it, and this is why they look good. And I gotta give credit to JJ Redick, honestly. It probably comes from him. Um, but DeAndre Ayton accepting his role, and then LeBron as well too, accepting his role, being the third guy, doing the dirty work, rebounding, um, not stopping with the ball, keeping it moving, feeding Reeves and Luca because he's realizing like those are our 2 best players right now. Um, it's made a world of difference. And also Luca just being on a generational heater right now because, of losing his family, not tragically, but, we're talking about, like, divorce and custody battle,
Putin got to him.
yeah, definitely did. You know,
USSR's back, baby.
that region there's a couple regions of the world that are having a couple issues right now, but we
I
won't
thought
go
you
into
were
that on the
I thought you were
What?
talking about DeAndre Ayton and Drew Timmy. I didn't know you were talking about LeBron there.
Yeah.
No,
No Drew. No
that's
Drew on this pod. The only Drew that we're mentioning on this pod is me, Todd,
yeah.
alright?
Yeah, no, I
And
mean,
no
the Lakers
Zags.
Lakers, fun little stretch here. The Luke Kennard trade definitely worked out. Needed a shooter. He came in,
Mhm.
lit it up. I'm really dubious that I watched that Minnesota series last year and they got fucking worked. Like, can they go up a level? I don't think they can defensively. And offensively, I mean, this is peak Reeves and Luca. So, I mean, it would take a lot. Now, if they get Houston, that's where I go, okay, they get Houston. Then they get
Mhm.
San Antonio, and maybe there's a weird, like, last hurrah for LeBron, but I don't see him making it past the conference finals. My dream scenario would be the Lakers-Celtics
Yeah,
finals.
and we
LeBron
just
versus
do
the
it and we just do
Celtics,
it to Luka again.
Luka versus the Celtics,
Mhm.
Tatum fucking redemption, Jaylen Brown second Finals MVP. God, that would be fucking amazing. And to avoid San Antonio and Oklahoma City would be a fucking dream, and the
Oh,
Nuggets for that matter. I don't wanna play Jokic in the finals.
oh, yeah. Um,
That's why it probably won't happen though.
no, yeah, you're right. It would be too perfect. But, I disagree. I actually think that, they would be able to handle the Wolves in the first round. Now look, the Wolves have been without Anthony Edwards for a little bit. He finally came back a few nights ago, so they're gonna start looking better there. But this is a much different team than last year. As far as personnel, as far as roles, as far as these guys have now been together and played together for, a season and a half. So I think there's a lot more chemistry there now, and and you can tell on offense because they're pretty much unstoppable right now on the offensive side of the ball. The problem is going to be the defensive side, but you're getting a way more locked in Luca right now. Part of the other reason for this stretch of better play from them is like Luca has looked way more engaged on the defensive side of the ball. Now, will that last forever? I don't know, but I guarantee you he's going to have a better chance of doing that, being led by JJ Redick, who he respects, than potentially Jay Kidd and the rest of that Dallas team. Uh, and like I said, LeBron now knows his role. I think there's a cohesion with them after the trade deadline. Um, to just know where everybody stands on this team, and knows their roles a little bit better. Marcus Smart has been playing better. Now, can he make it through a playoff run? I don't know. That's what you worry about with these guys. Um, but I think they can win their first round matchup. Now, I just can't see them beating San Antonio, um, because I think San Antonio is arguably the best team in the league right now. Um, so I think they're not going to make it past the second round. But I think they will give up they'll put in a good fight. But I don't think anybody's beaten those top two seeds before the conference final, which kind of makes the West a little bit less fun compared to the East, because the East you could argue seven teams will come out of the East. But in the West, it's Thunder, Spurs, and that's it for me.
Who is their closing five? Or is JJ just throwing darts at a board and who's ever playing well? I think there's a situation or there's a scenario where in the playoffs, depending on who they're playing, where LeBron is not involved.
Well, you know what's exciting, Todd, is we're going to probably find out tonight because they play OKC tonight. So we should get a pretty good look at what the closing five would look like in a playoff series. So that's kind of exciting.
If they beat them, there
Yeah.
is a chance that San Antonio could catch the Thunder. Which
Yeah. I
if
mean, it's
they
only two games.
did if they did catch the Thunder, I'm seriously considering Wemby for MVP.
I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna go Shea, but I understand. I understand the argument because of how dominant Wemby is on the defensive side of the ball. Um,
You see his last
eh,
2 games?
yeah, it's 41,
41
41
and
and
fucking
41.
18 and then 41 and
Yeah,
16 or something, like, dude, and he's playing, like, 29 minutes. What if he
yeah,
plays 35 minutes in the playoff game and he just is like, "Yeah, I'm just going to the rim every time." He can drop 60 in a playoff game, dude. I'm pretty
yeah.
Remember that game against the Lakers? No, he didn't, they didn't have anybody playing. They had nobody
Mhm,
playing, but he had a game against the Lakers, I don't know, a few weeks or a couple months ago where he had, like, 40 at halftime or 38 at halftime or whatever, and then basically just sat, but I don't know,
mhm.
man. Wemby in the playoffs, it could get fucking disgusting. I
I don't disagree with you right now, but that is part of it with me. There is a minutes argument as well too.
Yeah.
Just because of how much Shea is playing for his team, and look, the end of game stuff matters, especially to voters. And look, when the game's on the line, like, Shea is really turning into one of the all-time killers at the end of games, with just putting away teams. And you can bring up the stats and you can bring the defense and all that stuff, and I get it. Like, I love Wemby. I think I would have no problem if he actually did win it. I don't wanna see anybody from OKC get any accolades, okay? Um, but Shea has been doing it all year long. They'll probably still get the 1 seed. They're probably gonna beat the Lakers tonight. I hope it's a close game, though. But they'll probably beat the Lakers tonight. They'll get the 1 seed. And look, he's just been doing it every single night consistently. I mean, the 20-point a game streak now, that doesn't count the playoffs and whatnot, but he's just doing it consistently, and taking on the burden all season long, and closing out games and being extremely clutch, uh, in some of these big primetime games. So I still think it's gonna be Shea, just because of his efficiency as well too. I mean, he's shooting like what, 55% from the field as a guard? I mean,
Yeah, he's incredible.
it's pretty unreal what he's doing. Um, and I mean, look, Jalen Williams has not been that good this year. Like, he's got more of a burden than I think people give him credit for, when it comes to this OKC team.
And I think Wemby maybe has less of a burden than people realize on this Spurs team, um, with Fox, Castle, and Harper, and uh, even just the idea that they have some bigs that they can bring in,
Yeah.
that take some of that load off of him, where it's like, oh, like he doesn't have to play that many minutes. The minutes argument to me is the number one thing where I go, okay, like you're right. I'm biased. I just fucking hate SGA and I don't like the Thunder. So I just think, I don't want him to win the MVP again. But I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong. One thing I did want to mention, and this is something that I've kind of forgotten about and hadn't fully put together. It has never been easier to average 20 points a game in the NBA. I mean,
Mhm.
compared to other eras.
Yeah.
Uh, so what is
Speaking
this streak the equivalent of averaging like 15 or scoring 15 every single game consecutively in like previous eras? Because I mean, the guy shot 25 free throws the other night, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the 20 points a game or the 20 points consecutive streak, like, it's not nothing, but it's also like, all right, I don't know. I'm sure if I could go back and find, okay, well, what's the most like in a different era of like 16 or 15-point games in a row?
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of comparable. Just the way that the game is played now, how many more possessions there are, like how much more scoring there is, and how many more free throws we're shooting nowadays. So that's my thing with that streak that people like to
Mhm.
kind of bring up. That had to have been like boosted by his agent or something. Just like, hey, talk about the leak in the media members. Like, hey, bring this up, bring this up. This is important.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but this is what guys do. I mean, we talked about LeBron's double-digit streak that was, first of all, it's the same as Shea, okay? It didn't include the playoffs
Yeah,
because I
he had
watched
a
him sco
single digit in the finals.
I was just about to say JJ Barea held him to 8 points in 2011, okay? JJ Barea, who looks like me out
Yeah.
there. You know what? Shout out JJ Barea though. My my absolute dog. Um, Speaking of averaging 20 points, the Lakers, I think, with, uh, Luka, Reeves, and LeBron are gonna be potentially the first 3 teammates in a full season to average 20 and 5. I think it's 5 assists.
Mm.
Which so that I mean, like, it's a scary kinda three-headed monster when they're all kinda on. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the MVP, I will give you this. If the Spurs catch them for the number 1 seed, which we only got 6 games left and there's still 2 games back, so, like, it's not a guarantee. It's most likely it won't happen. Um, but there is a little bit more of a case just since you're the best player, on the best team, and the Spurs have beaten the Thunder every time they've played this year, or maybe it's 4-1 or is it 4-0?
They definitely
Kinda
have the tiebreaker, so that's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah, it's either
If the Lakers were to win tonight, then it gets, okay, well, now Oklahoma City can't give a game up.
yeah.
They have to win out. Because that would get real interesting.
Mhm.
But you're right. If they finish with a tiebreaker and they end up first, maybe it's still like no SGA. So it's can't really go wrong either way. And who are the other two candidates? Luca and
I mean,
Jokic.
dude,
Jokic is
I
not
kn
winning this year. He can't win
no,
this year.
Jokic is not winning, no. The only time we've seen a guy that far down in the standings was Russ, and I think a lot of people look back at that and are like, "Not really." But speaking of Russ, um, Jokic is gonna be the first guy to average a triple-double through the season since Russ, so that's kinda interesting, but he's not gonna win the MVP, I'll tell you that. Uh, I mean, Shea is 31.5, which say what you will about the 20-point streak, averaging 31.5 for a season is fucking unreal. That's like handful of guys type shit, and half of them are fucking wilt. Um, on 55% shooting, 38% from 3, 88, and then you got 4.5 and 6.5.
The efficiency is what's ridiculous too. I mean, you look at
Yeah,
his efficiency; it's just fucking nuts.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you can't go wrong. I'm definitely biased. Wemby is my favorite player, probably other than Jalen
Mhm,
Brown. Been saying that for the last couple years. I'm like, favorite play. People
mhm.
are like, who's your favorite player? I'm like, probably Jalen Brown. They're like, okay, not Celtics. I'm like, probably Wemby.
Real quick to just finish up the MVP talk, Jaylen Brown dropped 43 last night, and look, I understand what some of these other guys have been doing, but he's gotta be your 5th spot on first team All-NBA. I don't give a fuck.
Well, especially with Ant and Cade probably missing
Cade's not
the.
gonna hit it.
Yeah, no.
Cade's not gonna hit it.
Well, what I was wondering is why can't they just check him in for one possession and then take him out? Just to get him the All NBA. That would fuck with his averages.
Yeah, but, I mean, with all this BAM talk about ethical hoops, I mean, I mean, at this point, like, who fucking cares?
Just
Might as
have him
well,
start
right?
the game, intentional foul, take him out. He played.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Let him put
especially
up a
when we're
shot.
talking about, like, bonuses, like, Jaylen Brown got, like, a $40 million bonus in his contract because of
Mhm.
making that All-NBA team a few years back. Um, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that Cade has already made an All-NBA team, so it probably doesn't matter, but, yeah, I don't know how people would react to that, and I think it would definitely force the NBA's hand on, like, "Look, we gotta change this rule to, like, a minutes or games situation."
The I think it's gotta be the minutes because, like, yeah, if a guy hurts himself and he misses, 20 games, but up until that point, he was going for, like, 35 minutes a night, like, yeah, he played enough, okay? Um, but, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure they're gonna change it. I think 60 is probably a good number there.
Yeah, I think it should be, like, 62 or 60 or, like,
I think
you
60.
make it, like, okay, yeah, 60 or this many minutes. So if you played 57, but you hit this many minutes, then you're good. Like, it
I
shouldn't
think
be
s
both, it should be either or. Like, if you played
yeah.
all 48 for fucking 50 games in a row, then I guess you're eligible. Like,
Yeah. No, I don't mind it either way there, but I think 60 is good because it's like, yeah, you played 3 quarters of the season. You should be able to get an award for that. Um, yeah, other than that, is there anybody else you wanna talk about in the wait, do you think anybody in the West can take down Spurs or OKC, or is it one of them?
well, I mean, Denver's defense is really bad. I think they're, like, bottom 6 or 7 in the NBA in defensive rating. But I think they have the best player. So, it's kind of like LeBron on those Cleveland teams against those Warriors teams where it's like, okay, like, he's outmanned. I don't think they're gonna win, but they have LeBron. You always have a
Mm,
shot, back in the day. So,
yeah.
um So
and he's got a sidekick that's playing well too. Like, Murray's been great this year, so
we haven't seen Aaron Gordon be fully Aaron Gordon since the beginning of the season. So if he can get back to where he was at,
mhm,
they really need Christian Brown to get back to where he was at. He's not had a good
yeah,
year. Um, yeah, I it's weird. I really thought Denver was gonna really put it together this year. I think the West is just a bitch. A lot of miles on a lot of those guys with some of these playoff runs that they've had.
yep,
They're not gonna go down easy. They are not
no,
gonna go down easy. And
they didn't last
City
year.
if I'm Oklahoma City, I am praying that somehow they catch the Lakers or fall to 6 because I do not want them in round 2.
Yeah, that's a tough one, round 2. Just with everything they can throw at you in championship pedigree, and not having the best player in the series for a team that might make the, like, the 6th seed or whatever.
And one of his
So yeah.
Serbian brothers might, you know, put a hit out on Lou Dort. You never know.
Ooh. Hey, I think a hit on Lou Dort would be something we can all get
Valid.
behind.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah. In a world that's so split up these days, why not come together and take out Lou Dort?
Duke losing, hurting Lou Dort on purpose.
Lou Dort, yeah, it's surprising that he wasn't a Duke guy and he was an Arizona. Well, I mean, he definitely wasn't good enough to go to Duke, but he like fits in with the Duke guys as far as like Grayson Allen tripping and all that type of stuff. But he was an Arizona State guy, and he was coached by Bobby,
Yeah,
Bobby,
Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley,
With
Bobby.
oh, go ahead.
uh, Oh, as John Rothstein would say, Bobby effing Hurley.
Yeah.
That guy would lose his mind. We got to see him a couple of times at WSU. Good times,
Yeah.
good times.
With that said, if they don't flip him and he becomes an unrestricted free
Mhm.
agent after they pick up his
I'll
option
take
or
him.
the
I'll
Celtics
take
should
the
sign him.
Celtics
The Celtics
immediately.
should sign him. That would
Lou
be
Dort,
very, very
friend of the
nice.
program.
Yeah. You
Lou
immediately
Lou
just
Dort,
change up.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a shill. I'll root for whoever is on the Celtics. Um,
Another Celtics Lakers storyline too. Again, I know there's probably like a 4% chance of that being the finals. If that was the finals, dude, Marcus Smart playing the Celtics in the
yeah,
finals.
yeah. Almost got it with Rondo a few, during
Yeah.
COVID, but we were 1 game away. But yeah, that would be interesting. That would be the only guy I could see, you know, the Celtics fans not booing on the Lakers if it was a finals matchup in Boston.
And then
You never
2023,
know.
we both made the conference finals as well. I believe they
Mhm.
lost to Denver and we lost to Miami. So,
Yeah, but they didn't have a chance against Denver. At least in 2020, it was like, we really could get it finally again, first time in a decade.
mhm.
Um, but now we just keep just barely missing out on it, but
Weirdly
we're
enough, that
close.
that 2020 and 2023 same conference finals. Lakers,
Yeah.
Nuggets, Heat, Celtics, 2023 Heat,
Mhm.
Celtics.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, God, I can't believe they almost came back from 3-0.
There's never really gonna be a better chance than that.
That Derek White shot is just gonna get lost in
Oh.
history.
When that Derek White shot went in, I was like, we're doing it. We're gonna be the first time to do it. Oh my god, dude. That entire game 7 day, I was listening to, Your Love by The Outfield and Shipping Up to Boston. I was like, "We're gonna do it. We're gonna come back with
28 to
these."
3,
And then
fucking
Tatum rolls his
Yankees, Red
fucking
Sox,
ankle.
and then that would have been it. But dude, yeah, Tatum, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you
I don't
know.
know if we would've won regardless because we got kinda shit on in that game 7, but he at least would've kept it close.
Yeah, we weren't gonna beat Denver. So, it all worked out
No,
for the best because it forced us
but
to go get Porzingis and Drew Holiday,
that's
and then,
fair.
we rip off the next 2 seasons, so
Yeah, it's like the Warriors going and getting KD, you know?
yeah.
We're not complete yet, but I will say, for the, you know, various basketball fans and general, enjoyment, it would've been a better series with Boston, Denver. Like, we would've probably given them a little bit of a scare. Like, Miami never really challenged them, in that series, so that was
Oh, yeah,
that
it
was
would've been
kinda
a way better
frustrating.
series, way more fun series.
Oh, yeah.
Miami was
And I mean, that
maxed out. They were an 8th seed. That
yeah,
shouldn't have that was yeah.
dude,
Um,
they were on fumes by that game 7,
mhm.
and props to Jimmy Butler. He just wasn't gonna die. Wasn't gonna die. The
Yeah, but I
zombie
think
heat.
that scar along with the Draymond scar in against
One,
Golden
2.
State the previous year really drove Jaylen Brown to really get his, like, mental game, like, better, which leads to him hitting the shot against Indiana and Cleveland and, like, these
That
big plays
Indiana
against
shot.
Dallas, like, he's yeah. You know what I am gonna miss? And now we're kinda talking a little bit of East. I don't know if you wanna finish up with the West, but real quick, I'm gonna miss Halliburton in the Pacers this year in the
Yeah,
playoffs. They
yeah.
really, really, really made the playoffs last year. The best
Oh, yeah.
moments were those games against Milwaukee, Cleveland, and then New York, and Oklahoma
The
City. Like, every
comebacks.
single one of their series was kind of a classic.
Dude, the comebacks they would have. They'd be down 15 with, like, 3 minutes left. Yeah, the chunk. Oh, dude, some of those shots that when, like, Matherin was on a heater, Neesmith going on a heater, when, like, the game was dude, I've turned off, like, 2 or 3 of those games because it was over, and then you're like, "Oh my god, Indiana, you gotta look right now." Go back in, I'm like, "No fucking way, it's tied.
There were
It's
multiple
tied."
times where I was just, like, in my car, like, listening to the game, and I'm, like, at a red light, and he just hits, like, a fucking like, that shot against Cleveland where he acted like he had the big
The
balls or
balls, yeah.
whatever, and I'm just losing my fucking mind in my car, like, screaming, and somebody looks over, and I'm just like, "Ah." Or when they almost beat OKC, man, like, it was just that was such a fun team, and they'll be
Yeah.
back next year. Probably be
Back and
beneficial for
potentially
us if they lose
better.
their I don't want them to get the lottery pick, but either regardless if they get the lottery pick or not, they are gonna be in the thick of things in the East, so,
Yeah.
um
Speaking of players, non-Celtics that are our favorite players in the league, like, Halliburton's right there for me, just as the way he plays and,
Mhm.
I was a fan of him on Sacramento. I mean, remember that trade? I was like I one of my better takes is I was like, "Oh, it Sacramento is gonna regret this for 15 years."
Yeah. I thought it was a win-win. I did not anticipate, De'Aaron Fox forcing his way out.
Yeah.
That was a bummer.
I mean, when you got a guy that likes Sacramento, like Halliburton said he did, God, you
Mm.
gotta hold on to him. Now everybody on your team hates being in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was
Well,
sad. They had
look at
such a nice little fun
like the
2-year
beam,
run, and then it's just
like the
gone.
beam
I
team.
loved like, kind of like the way I always check in on Wemby. They were a team I was like, "What are the Kings doing?" Because
Yeah,
sometimes the West
fun
Coast options aren't as it's a lot of Portland. It's a lot of,
for a lot of stuff.
Warriors, which, the Warriors are fun, but we've had them for 10 plus years, so it's kinda like, "Alright, like, I get it." Especially towards the back end of their run with Clay, where I was like, "This is sad. I don't wanna
Yeah,
watch Clay have 5 points," you know?
yeah. It's been a tough last 3 years on the West Coast
Yeah.
for sure.
Clippers, not very fun. Lakers, it's like, I get it. Same thing with the Warriors, where it's like, I get it. So
With
Denver
the Lakers,
Denver is the
yeah.
team.
Yeah, but with the Lakers too, it's, like there's a lot of games where obviously pre-Luka, it was like, yeah, they're winning, but it's because they're playing Sacramento or they're just getting shit on by like an actually good team, and you're like, "Alright, these games aren't interesting. It's slow because it's LeBron." But now it's a lot more interesting. But,
Phoenix was fun
yeah,
when they had Chris Paul, and then when they went and got Beal and Durant, that was like, I hate this team. I don't wanna watch
yeah,
them.
just awful, awful moves right off of a finals run. I mean, just
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I don't really like watching teams with Harden, Durant, or Westbrook. I just don't
yeah.
like watching any of their teams, like, I mean, obviously, when they were younger, fuck yeah, but then just it's like, "Okay, I get it."
It's just such a weird fact that all those guys came from the same team, and then they just had some of the most tumultuous, but also legendary careers ever. It's such a weird
The whole
that
era with those 3, Kyrie and, like,
yeah,
Kawhi Leonard and, like,
yeah,
Embiid, like, these guys, God, we got so and I've said this before, but Jason and Jalen, we got so lucky as fans to have ended up with those being the guys that we built the franchise around. I mean,
mhm.
God,
Especially with
even, like,
Ja and
thinking about
Zion coming right after.
they were so talented, like, Zion, I would have put anything on like, Wemby levels of, like, yeah, he's gonna work. And if you
Mhm.
watch, I mean, it does
Hey,
work.
look,
It's just
he's had a good really good second half of this season. He's gonna play like 60 plus games. So I mean, I do yeah, I
golf
know.
clap for that.
Golf clap it up. Golf clap it up. Yeah. Well, we're not getting into we'll talk we'll talk Pels and Kings and everybody else down there in the off season. But yeah, I'm excited. I actually think the play-in games are gonna be I mean, they're always kinda interesting, but, like,
The
this
East is
year
actually interesting
this year in the East, it's like, bro, both of the teams playing could win their first round matchups. The West, not so much, but, um, I think those will actually probably still be good games. I think the Suns, uh, Portland, and who is the other one that I am thinking of? Um The Suns, Portland, and the Clippers will be fairly evenly matched, so those will at least be interesting. I don't think anybody's gonna give up in those, besides the Warriors could obviously just get dominated and be done, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
not
see.
as interested in the West, but I anticipate the Suns making it, and then between Clippers and Blazers, we'll see. Kawhi's the best
Yeah.
player, but, I mean, I don't know. Clippers over the last, since the new year or whatever, have actually kinda gotten their more of their shit together, so I think even though Portland's playing well right now, I'd still probably take the Clips, and then in the East,
Yeah.
man, the way that I want it to shake out is Charlotte, 8 seed, plays Detroit, 1-8. That's the matchup I want. I want the
Mhm.
Raptors to be the 7 seed, so the
Yeah.
Celtics just easy 4 or 5 gamer, just take care of business, boom, Raptors out. Sixers, Knicks, fun.
Mhm.
And then
It's a
Atlanta,
bloodbath.
Cleveland is like a pseudo play-in game where it's like, well, neither of you are winning the title. That's an NBA TV for sure classic. You know what I mean?
Hey, I we gotta we'll talk about them next week, but we gotta put some fucking respect on Atlanta's name. I mean, they took it to the Celtics and have been on a heater for like a month now.
We did beat them like 3 nights early, like last weekend. Well, last Friday we did beat them. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we split 1-1. And yeah, they're always a tough out, but
We split it. We split the 1-1
yeah.
series.
Uh,
But no, I mean, like, legit, do I think Atlanta could take us to 6 or 7? Yes, I do. Yeah,
they
I'm
play
like
hard.
I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep on them. This has been a dude, they're like 17-1 in their last 18 games. Like, this is real now. Like, they've played half the league. Like, yeah, so but we'll talk about them more later, and I'm just excited, we're a couple weeks out from the playoffs, and this is when it gets real, so it'll be
Final
fun.
4 right into the playoffs. Exciting
Yeah,
times.
it's great. Other than that, the only thing I had down was, uh, expansion, but we can talk more about that in the off season. Yeah, and then do you know Missoula has the best winning percentage in the history of the NBA?
I
Minimum
did.
200 minimum 200
Yeah.
games. Unbelievable.
I mean,
We'll we'll we'll
yeah.
we'll do our postseason we'll do our awards probably next episode, let's do our awards, and then, but I think we both know who we're gonna pick for coach of the year based on that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been incredible. So,
Yeah. Alright, wanna do a Wizards injury update, or are you good?
no, I think I'm good on that.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could talk about it next or even in the off season, but
No.
I just mentioned Jaden Ivey. I cannot believe this is if you played his career out, this is like the worst possible situation where and I had no idea he was kind of a weirdo. People didn't really fuck with him at Purdue um or in Detroit
Detroit.
or in I mean, it's just weird. It's just very weird. He's got a lot of talent, but it feels like it's just not gonna work out. It's just not gonna play out the way that we wanted it to. I think he'll get another chance, but it'll be somewhere like Sacramento, and it's just not gonna be I mean, I thought he was gonna be the Jaylen Brown to Cage Tatum or whatever you wanna say, I thought he was gonna be Detroit's second best player, and they just bailed on him, and I think it's because he's kind of a weirdo, and he's a little, like, abrasive. A locker room doesn't play great in the locker room, so
Yeah, there's some interesting comments. I mean, some people are like, they're hating on him because of like him coming out about his faith or whatever, but like, I don't see that being the actual reason why. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the NBA that are very religious.
yeah. It's not because he's a conservative, it's because of the way that he's, like, pushing it on guys within the locker room where guys are just kinda like, "Alright, dude." And let's be honest, if he was scoring 20 a game, it's fine. People are dealing with
Yeah,
him being kind of a weirdo, but him being very preachy, him not really being, like and I think the injuries have taken a toll a little bit too. But yeah, also him just going out calling out, like, LeBron and Steph for being, like,
okay.
not real men of faith and all this stuff. It's like, "Alright, man, like, you kinda being an asshole." But, like, again, it seems like he's going down this weird Kyrie trek, but it's like, you're not Kyrie. He's, like, one of the most talented players ever, and he
Yeah,
was dropping 20, 30 a game. So, I don't know, we need to find out more about it. I'll be interested to see who gives him another chance, but I have a feeling it'll like I said, it'll probably be somewhere like Sacramento, and, that's never a great thing for your career, so
yeah. I mean, him telling the Bulls doctors that Jesus healed his knee, but then an MRI proved that that wasn't true, doesn't help.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, coming out yeah, it's just he made work uncomfortable for people, which
Yeah.
is like I said, you can get away with a lot if you're talented. I mean, Charlie Sheen got away with a lot. You know why? Do you know why?
Cut from the
He had the
same cloth, am I right? Jesus.
he had the number 1 show on TV and was, like, making a lot of money for
Mm,
CBS. He had to
yeah.
So there's a lot of Kyrie is another example. There are people that say and do weird things that get away with it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he just might not be that talented enough to be able to do that. I thought he was, so we'll have to see
Yeah.
where it shakes out.
Yeah. Depending on how talented you are, the more you get away with, and that goes for every aspect of life. And that'll wrap it up for us. You know, m Todd, me and you, we probably wouldn't get away with a whole lot, based on the numbers we're doing right now, but maybe
Right.
one day we'll get so talented, we can say whatever we want on here, and it won't
Yeah,
matter.
right. Charlie Sheen
And in
style.
that case yeah, exactly. And in that case, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back at you next week. Good job by you, Todd.
Yeah, good job by you, bud. Love you guys.